Taurus, hi. Happy full moon in Taurus, Taurus. This is quite an intense, powerful full moon, super moon in the sign of Taurus. Because we are in Scorpio season, the full moon is in the opposite sign of Taurus. It is positively aspected to Jupiter, which is a very good thing because Jupiter expands everything that it touches. The ruler of Sagittarius, 30 times the size of Earth. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of exploration, of expanding our visions, expanding our thoughts and our way of being. I am feeling a restless energy. Being a Taurus sun, I'm not sure if that resonates for any of you, but I have this feeling of restlessness and impatience, as if something is about to unfold, but I can't quite put my finger yet on what it is. And especially in the last 2 days, I haven't been able to focus on one specific thing. And my emotions have been all over the place. So if that resonates for someone, that is just the full moon energy, because moons are about emotion, right? And a full moon is illuminating everything that we don't usually pay attention to, or we don't usually see. It's illuminating the darkness or what's hidden. And Jupiter is expanding that energy. So if you need to take time out, Taurus, just, to regroup your energy and to ground and center yourself again, please do that, because when you invest in rest and time out for yourself, it brings back your productivity tenfold. So it's not about pushing until you drop. And it was the same kind of message that I got for Aries just now. Okay, Taurus, let's see what is going on for the ball gang. I'm also getting a lull in energy, like a pause in fire energy. And it could just be, Scorpio season, but there is this kind of lull or moment of pause. And what it's doing is it's asking us to shift perspective about a lot of things. It's almost like a pivot energy. And as this energy flows like water, it needs a container to prevent it from, turning into chaos. So what I'm being asked to tell you, Taurus, is to focus on creating safe spaces, whether it's internally. So taking time out to just ground and center yourself, or doing things that create a sense of safety for you, especially around the home. So it could be fixing something, it could be finishing a task that you've been putting off, just to ground your energy a little bit and to not to distract, that's the wrong word, but to balance out some of the flow that is happening now that we can't really control, right? And that's the thing with water energy is it brings with it a lot of stuff. And I'm almost getting, like after a tsunami, all of the rubble and everything that was destroyed by the water is kind of churning in with that flow. It's a murky kind of an energy. So this could resonate for someone that you could be feeling a little bit confused mentally, or just, there's a lot of stuff going on in your emotional body and your mind about life, about love, about career, about money. I just heard about money as well. So let's see, Taurus. Spirit, please and thank you for the sign of Taurus. Messages of guidance during this full moon time. The full moon was yesterday on the 5th of November, but the energy does last, especially with the supermoon, for up to 5 days after, and it builds up 5 days before a full moon. So you could be feeling this for the last week, Taurus, and then coming up again in this next week. Please and thank you for the sign of Taurus, a full moon reading, messages of love, light, and guidance. All negative energy must leave the space now. For Taurus, I'll just get all the cards. So clarity, that's a good one to get. Ace of Swords. There's a new truth coming in for you, Taurus, and the murkiness is going to clear. I do feel like this is a repeat of a cycle, but it is coming through again with new insights, new clarity, new information. Because you have shifted and grown your perspective on things, you're able to look at this now from a different perspective, from a different angle. It is also about clarity of thought and clarity of communication. And Taurus rules the throat center, the chakra, the throat area, which is about communication. Swords energy is communication as well. So this could be about a clear conversation coming in for you, or clear communication coming in for you as well, to dispel any confusion you might have had about a certain situation. Page of Wands energy. This also came out for Aries. This is about having fun, Taurus. It's Sagittarius energy. It's a spark of creativity. It's a spark of joy and unfiltered joy, childlike joy. The pages are childlike energy. If you've ever watched children just play and find joy in the simplest things, like a stick, and use their imagination. And there is a stick in this card, and they were just showing me, a stick can be a wand, it can be a teaching, implement, it can be, the foundation of a little tent that the kids are building, it can be, so many different things. I know my son went through a phase of collecting sticks, and there are still sticks all over the house of different sizes, different shapes, and each of them mean something different to him. It's that kind of energy. It's, just exploring and relishing in the simple things in life and finding joy in that, and recognizing that it doesn't have to take a big moment, a big event, a big anything to bring that joy in for you. It can be a delicious meal, Taurus. It can be a new plant for your home, or planting something new. It can be, just sitting and watching the sunset or the sunrise, reading a good book. Anything sensual that brings in, the feeling of sensuality. Enjoying a good chocolate, a good piece of dark chocolate, or your favorite meal, cooking your favorite meal for yourself, and just relishing in that. That's the energy that I'm getting is needed right now, especially towards this time of the year, where we tend to move into sluggishness and burnout as we anticipate, the last push for the year, and the pressure to define goals and to start, anew again in January. It's the Gregorian calendar. It's a Western concept of time that we can get sucked into, that now this is the end and we have to push to complete something or push to finalize something, but it is not the end. December is not the end. Time is fluid and is relative. So this could even be your beginning. You don't have to wait for January to start something new. And I am getting this energy of procrastination, Taurus, but it is also coming from a sense of exhaustion. Yeah, it's exhaustion and depletion, mental depletion, mental exhaustion. This is the card of sleepless nights, of anxiety. You could be experiencing a lot of overthinking at the moment about a certain situation. You could be having a lot of dark thoughts. When I say dark thoughts, it's just thoughts that consume our energy in a negative way, that detract from this energy, detract from the joy of being alive. And we can get bogged down in day-to-day details and minutiae that cause us to sometimes spiral into depressive mood states or anxiety. And it's the pressure that we put on ourselves as well, Taurus. So it's very important to bring in this light energy wherever you can and to lean into gratitude. I know that sometimes when you are in the quagmire of your thoughts and spiraling and nothing seems to be working in your favor, that to think about gratitude is annoying advice. But just to look at things from a different perspective and see what is actually working for you right now is what I'm getting. And that's why there's this white dove energy here that I'm picking up, Taurus, and the light that's coming from that is able to ripple across all of these negative energies or thoughts that you may be having. So one thought of gratitude can outdo 10 thoughts or 9 thoughts of despair. That's the power of love and the gratitude energy. Yeah, it is definitely feeling a sense of abandonment or loneliness, Taurus. I just heard loneliness as well. Maybe you have, lost certain connections, friendships, relationships. Someone has pulled back their energy, or you have pulled back your energy, but there's a sense of loss that I'm getting here that's causing a little bit of depression and anxiety. There's a sense of feeling alone. There's a sense of perhaps not having the support that you need at this time, especially when your energy is depleted, and you find yourself alone without the emotional, physical, even physical support. Someone to help, make dinner or run you a bath or just make a cup of tea. Those are the simple things that, can make us feel isolated if we don't have that. So there is somewhat of a sense of abandonment here, Taurus, but what they are asking me to tell you, sorry about that, is not to abandon yourself in the situation. So if you have drawn a boundary and you are losing people over that, it's your key to understand who is meant to be in your space and who isn't. And that is a painful process to go through, because sometimes it's the people we least expect to disappear that disappear. But I think you are realizing a lot of things in the situation, Taurus. As you start doing things that are important to you and that you enjoy, you are starting to recognize what's falling away because of that. And at times, and it comes in waves, is what I just heard. It comes in moments. So it's not all the time. Yes, that's what I feel. I feel like for some of you, what may be happening is, one day you wake up feeling energized and excited and motivated for the day. And then a few hours later or in the evening, there's kind of a drop in energy. It's a little bit of a roller coaster that you've been on, Taurus. And what they are showing me is that the way this healing happens, especially if it has to do with isolation or loss, is we process it in bite-sized chunks, because it can be way too intense and overwhelming to process all at once. So it comes in waves and it comes in moments, so that you can work through it in a practical way without letting it consume you, if that makes sense. There is joy coming in for you though. And this is about being impulsive, Taurus. It's about being spontaneous right now and doing things that you wouldn't usually do, accepting invitations to socialize, being open to the energy of receiving wherever that may come from, being adventurous, doing something new, doing something that scares you. It's fire energy. This is Sagittarius energy with Jupiter, positively aspecting our full moon right now. It's the perfect time to expand your horizons. Maybe look into a new skill that you want to explore, or even if it's like if it's music. The other day I had a very strong calling towards DJing. It's something that music has always been a huge part of my life. And just the thought of being able to bring different sets to people and watching the joy come alive in them is something that's an idea that just came to me and that I might want to explore. In fact, sound engineering was one of my choices when I was, deciding what career to go into. I really thought about sound engineering, but I was, discouraged from that because of the, the opportunities versus the traditional careers. But the world is changing, and now, there's different skills required, and especially with AI taking over the left brain, a lot of the left brain type of work, and left brain intelligence, the logic, scientific research, that kind of thing, analytics. What is needed right now is more right brain work. That's more creativity, more artists, more musicians, more creators and less consumers. So this energy is calling you to create, Taurus, and maybe in a way that you're not particularly used to, but with abandon of self-doubt, creating what you've always felt inspired to do. This is the energy that's coming in for you, Taurus. You could also be dealing with a Sag. Last card for Taurus, and this did flip over in the beginning. This is about juggling. So you could be very busy, Taurus, juggling a lot of different things and not knowing, which one to focus on. At this time, what I can advise is that you focus on the activities that bring you lightness and bring you joy, and take care of the admin that is immediately necessary so that you also ground your energy. So with Tauruses, with Taurians, we can be really bothered by practical things around the house, as an example, that are not completed. Whether it's, fixing a leak, or a broken tile, or a squiggly, loose towel rail. Those things, when fixed, kind of bring us a sense of safety and security and stability. And that's what this moon energy is bringing in. If there's a light bulb that you haven't changed, or, just little things around your house, your car, your paperwork, getting paperwork in order, so that you just, and do it like small bits at a time, so that you're also not overwhelmed. But it is going to bring in a sense of stability, one task at a time, one action at a time. I can just see you, Taurus, looking at all of the things that need to be done and feeling completely overwhelmed by them. That is the energy of juggling. It is a sense of complete overwhelm when you look at, the full spectrum of what needs to actually get done. But if you break it down and prioritize, ask AI to help you prioritize what needs to be done. And then you use your creativity to bring in some creative aspects into the practical stuff that needs to get done. If that makes sense for you, Taurus. But it's the juggling that's causing in the sense of exhaustion. The bottom of the deck, the Page of Pentacles. So this could definitely be about starting something new in the physical world. This could be a new skill. This could be something small, but working towards your vision. Something grounded as well. And this is the little tasks I was talking about, because Pentacle energy is earth energy. It is grounded energy. So it could be doing little things around your home that give you a sense of organization instead of chaos. I think that's what you need right now, Taurus, is a feeling of organization and not chaos. I just want to get final messages of advice for you, Taurus. I hope this resonated. Please leave a comment. I so appreciate your comments, especially when they are confirmations. It just helps me, or it inspires me to do more of this work, knowing that, even if I helped one person. Final messages of guidance and advice for Taurus. Spirit, please and thank you. King of Pentacles, that's your energy, Taurus. Fixed energy, king energy, being grounded. Again, it's coming back to sorting out your material space is a strong energy that I'm getting. Sorting out your material space. That could be clearing out your closet. It could be decluttering. Decluttering is a big one. If there's anything that you want to just take one room at a time or one cupboard at a time, so that you're not overwhelmed, and bring some organization into your space. This is also about grounding your energy, Taurus, and it's about bringing instability and a sense of peace through that. And as Taurians, we do need that. Being a fixed sign as well, we need a sense of stability around us, especially when our emotions are doing a little bit of a chaotic swirl. This is what helps balance that energy. So again, confirmation about material things, Oh, wow. Juggling again. So it's healing from this juggling energy. That's a repeating message. Thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation. Juggling energy, two different decks. It's about healing from this energy. It's about putting the burden down, Taurus. You've been in performance or overperforming, over delivering, in masculine action, and ignoring, the emotions that are coming up for you, this turbulence of emotions that's going on in the background of this juggler. And, there's only so long you can sustain um, this overdoing or overperforming. It is a performance, right? Juggling is a performance. If you think about a clown in a circus, it's putting on a mask, it's putting on a performance for the outside world to acknowledge and to validate. And I think what you are healing from, Taurus, is this reliance on external validation and more of a focus on what brings you intrinsic value, and recognizing your own intrinsic value and validating yourself or feeling validated. And this is the energy, that I get from just being in joy. Again, it's that childlike energy that you come back to. If you think of yourself as a child, that innocence of play, that innocence of existing, besides the nurturing from your parents, think about, what brought you joy. And it wasn't about, what other people said, until we started learning how to discern criticism and feedback. It wasn't about that. It was about what brought you joy in the moment, whether it was your Barbie doll or, playing tea or dollhouse or looking in the garden for fairies and gnomes and berries. That is the innocence that we need to come back to, and just recognizing that we are worthy just by existing. You don't have to overperform, you don't have to overdeliver to feel that you are worthy of your place on this planet. And that's what's being healed right now, Taurus. So it's important for you to take some time for yourself right now to focus on how to organize your own space, how to organize your own existence, and not focusing too much on what other people are expecting of you or what other people are saying. um, yeah, and putting the burdens down, putting whatever you need to right now that you are juggling, to put it down, to spend some time also integrating emotions that are coming up. Okay, Taurus, I hope that helped. If you'd like a personal reading, my details are in the description box. But until next time, sending you so much love and just bask in this full moon energy.